first hour that most investigators skip or just get wrong?
That's a great one. That's a really good one, Aaron. So two prongs to this. Okay. First hour, a little bit of thought process. But this is also because I do deliver OSINT training as well. This is something that I deliberately set as a trap at the start of a task when I go, right, I've told you something about myself or about a situation, and I need you now to go away and investigate that. And very often it's just about me. They know my name. I've given them a little bit of information, but I deliberately withhold some info around that. And I know with what I've given them, they'll only get so far. And so basically with that, I think one of the key things you need to understand is when you're given a name of a person is look at the type of name and try and differentiate if that's a common name, like a Janet Smith or a John Smith sort of name, or is it a name that's sort of much more of a rare name that you think, well, that sort of combination, and especially if you get a middle name to go with it, I'm likely to only get a few hits. So spend a few minutes just having a quick check against the name to go, I'm just going to do a search engine search on that name and just get a bit of an idea of how many hits I'm going to be getting in the very first crawl and work out from there, from those results, are there any sort of low hanging fruit, easy hits? But the real difficulty here is that when you just get a name and if you get more than one hit, which of the two, let's say you've got a minimum of 2 hits for the same name, which one's the correct person when they're clearly 2 different people? You need context around it. So already you're in a compromised situation going, well, it could be this person, it could be that person. So what I think ultimately that it goes down the path of being a guessing game unless you get really lucky and you get an absolute, there's only one person on this planet that has that name and therefore, it's likely to be this person. So for me, this goes back to communication. And this is what I teach people in the training courses that I deliver as well, is that when you're given a task and only given a name, really, when somebody's tasking you with that, nobody just knows a name when they ask you to investigate. And if they are asking you to just go, oh, I've got this name, Janet Smith or whatever, I need you to investigate them. You also need justification as an investigator as to, the necessity and proportionality of why am I going to potentially now start hunting down somebody's personal private info to share with somebody when I don't know the context. So it's entering into a communication level. There has to be some form of context as to why they want you to investigate. And you say, what do you think they've been up to? And I think that's the key thing in that first hour is that people often forget to actually just go back and ask the question and ask some additional questions. So I think the assumption is that when a client comes to us and we say that we can find people and whatever, they think that we've got some magic tricks up our sleeves, which